What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got another NBA video and discussion to kind of go over with you guys. This time it's actually revolving around Chris Paul and whether or not I think the Miami Heat should actually trade for Chris Paul. Now, the reason I'm kind of, wanting to do this and what's kind of inspired me to make this video was there's been a lot of rumors, like literally months ago, that the Miami Heat were actually interested in Chris Paul to add some, playmaking, because that's literally one of the things that the Miami Heat desperately need. That I think, yeah, they don't really exactly have it. They've got a couple of point guards here and there, but they're not like specialized at, playmaking or anything like that. And not just that, I kind of got this, discussion kind of brought up that the Miami Heat need more playmaking, and then it just kind of reminded me of, well, I've been talking a bit about Chris Paul lately with the New York Knicks and all that type of stuff. For those of you who didn't know, it's currently being reported that the New York Knicks have a lot of interest in trying to partner up LaMelo Ball and Chris Paul. For those of you who haven't seen any of my videos on that, I highly recommend going and checking them out. Pretty much just to summarize it, the Knicks want to get LaMelo Ball and play him as shooting guard, it does look like, and play Chris Paul at point guard. But then, when the ball is being taken down the court, then LaMelo Ball would be the main ball handler and all that type of stuff, which I think is a very interesting idea. Although, I think it could actually be really interesting and cool for the Miami Heat to try and make a play for Chris Paul. For example, I saw some people actually, talking about Kendrick Nunn. And yes, we obviously know that Kendrick Nunn is not exactly the greatest playmaker. And some people were saying that, his defense and his lack of playmaking is probably one of the only things in the Miami Heat starting five that is not exactly that great. And then it got me thinking, I think Kendrick Nunn would actually, if they were able to get Chris Paul, then Kendrick Nunn would actually, I reckon, have a very, very good role off the bench, considering there are rumors that Goran Dragic actually may be looking to go to another team elsewhere. For those of you who haven't heard, there were rumors that the Chicago Bulls and a couple other teams here and there may be looking at Goran Dragic very heavily if, the Miami Heat don't want to give him the money that they want, that he demands and wants to, because, the Miami Heat are looking at other players and all-stars such as Giannis. So I think, if Goran Dragic was to actually leave, then I think a perfect player to potentially take his spot would actually be Kendrick Nunn. They are kind of similar players. I mean, they both are very productive scorers. Goran Dragic is currently averaging 16.1 points per game and 5.1 assists off the bench, while Kendrick Nunn is averaging 15.6 points per game, and then 3.4 assists. So yeah, again, he's not exactly the greatest playmaking. It's one of the things that they don't exactly have in their starting five. I mean, Jimmy Butler is a really good playmaker, and he's the one that kind of does all the playmaking, while Bam Adebayo can do it too. Although, I just think that if they were to have that dominant ball-handed playmaker like Chris Paul, I think it would take their team to another level. Now, let's look at some of the stuff Kendrick Nunn lacks at. Well, the Miami Heat starting five. So, the Miami Heat starting five has, it swaps between Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero at the shooting guard. Both very capable shooters. Nothing to discuss there. Jimmy Butler is a perfect small forward for the Miami Heat. Defense, playmaking, and shooting. Perfect. And then you got Bam Adebayo, who plays that center/power forward spot, who's a great defender, can play make, and is obviously a very good, interior shooter and all of that type of stuff. The only thing I think they struggle with is the point guard and, that center/power forward position with Myers Leonard and Kendrick Nunn. Kendrick Nunn could play that perfect role off the bench, and Kendrick Nunn really lacks defense and obviously playmaking. And of course, what is Chris Paul really, really good at? He's obviously can create his own shot, but most importantly, he is a great defender at point guard, and he is obviously, a great playmaker, which just literally makes up for everything that they were lacking at point guard. And then obviously what they would lack with Goran Dragic leaving, if he does, then, Kendrick Nunn can now replace what Goran Dragic was doing off the bench. Then not just that, at center, they could potentially go after someone in free agency. Look, I don't know who they would get. I still believe they may be looking at, or center/power forward rather. I still believe they're going to be looking at Danilo Gallinari. So, if the Miami Heat get Danilo Gallinari, they can play him at that 4 position. And then you've got Bam Adebayo at center. I'm just saying that's going to be one of the championship favorites if the Miami Heat can bring that team together. Imagine that team. That would literally be so insane. I think the starting five would look like Chris Paul, Tyler Hero, and then Jimmy Butler, and then, you know, Danilo Gallinari, and then obviously Bam Adebayo, and then off the bench, they would have, like, Duncan Robinson, Jay Crowder, Derrick Jones Jr., Kelly Olynyk, Myers Leonard, Andre Iguodala. Oh my, that would be an absolutely insane team to see potentially on the court, and you would think that would almost be, that definitely be, in my opinion, probably one of the best teams in the East, and I think would be a definite conference final team caliber. I mean, the Miami Heat already have like a conference finals team caliber right now, but I think, you know, getting Chris Paul and maybe Danilo Gallinari would literally take it to that next step of, yes, maybe a certain conference final, but obviously could end up going to the finals and even competing for a championship. So I think that would be a very, very good team for, you know, the Miami Heat to have. And kind of just going on it as well, well, are the Miami Heat still interested in Danilo Gallinari? I believe they 100% will be. I mean, they tried to trade for him when the deadline came, and I think that the Oklahoma City Thunder realized that they most likely will be able to get some sort of a sign and trade possibly happening. So if they get a sign and trade, sign him, then they can, you know, compete in the playoffs, and then they can just sign and trade him in the off season or something like that, which I think would be a very good move for the Oklahoma City Thunder to do. And honestly, Miami then could just go and trade for Danilo Gallinari and Chris Paul. Now, what would it have to be? I would assume they would be looking for a young player. I don't think Miami Heat are going to do it. I honestly think it will probably just be a couple of first-round picks and maybe a random player like Jay Crowder or something like that. I think that's what's possibly going to happen because, to be fair, Chris Paul doesn't have exactly, you know, heaps of value because he's age and contract. And Danilo Gallinari, not just that, is also, you know, going to be a sign and traded player, and you don't usually get too much for sign and trade players. So again, I'm not exactly too sure what it'll be. Probably be a couple first round picks, a couple players like Jay Crowder, Myers Leonard, you know, something like that. And then I think OKC will be able to take some stuff out of that too. Obviously, they get there first and they get a couple of supporting players that they are looking to use to maybe even, you know, trade eventually here and there as well. But of course, that is most likely what is going to happen. Again, I'm pretty sure Crowder is probably going to be a free agent, so it could be a sign and trade too. I also heard OKC had some rumors in getting Jay Crowder on the deadline as well, so could be, you know, a pretty good match here and there, and I think would be kind of interesting to potentially see. But obviously, I think Chris Paul would be absolutely great for the Miami Heat, and definitely what's separating them right now from, you know, a conference final contender to a finals contender. So I think that's, you know, definitely what I think Chris Paul will come in for, and especially players like maybe Danilo Gallinari, etc. I think that is going to be extremely interesting. But anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for all the latest NBA content and NBA news. Don't forget to comment in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts and opinions on this? Do you guys think it would be a good idea for the Miami Heat to target Chris Paul and Danilo Gallinari? Again, I definitely would really like to know your thoughts and opinions. Do you guys think they're still going to be interested, or do you guys think they're not going to be interested anymore? Again, I definitely would really like to know your thoughts and opinions on it all down below. But also, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel, MIRO/Long channel. Links for them are in the description down below. And leave a like if you guys enjoyed it. Also, don't forget to check out my podcast as well. Links for that will all be in the description down below. But as I was saying, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.